Hello, it's Makaveli trader, the only gorilla trader, and I'm here to say congratulations to all those who have been following our analysis because Bitcoin made it to 60k target just like we predicted, and is a congratulations to every holder out there. It's been a rock coaster ride, but Bitcoin has stayed consistently. Bitcoin bulls has stayed consistently and has made it to our target of 60k. But today, remember, my major target remains 68k, right? So my target is 68k resistance, right? So if you look closely, you can see we still have a gap right here, right? A gap to complete the journey of the bulls to the sellers line, just like we've been doing from the beginning of this pump all the way from the last all-time high, right? So we've been on this up move. Congratulations once again to the bulls. So today I am here to keep you updated on what is likely going to play out on Bitcoin next. So if you look closely, you're going to see something very interesting. You're going to see a channel, right? So we've been having this channel extending all the way up, more of a bull channel. Now, what is a channel? A channel is represented by two trend line. One is above the price here, and one is below the price, right? So the one above the price is always called the seller's line, right? So whenever price hit it, you see a reaction just like it did here. You can see it reacting, staying. Price always, like, there's a repulsion whenever price gets to that seller's line, right? So it's the same thing with the buyer's line, right? So this is the buyer's line, right? So whenever price moves and get in contact, it gets repelled away by pushing up. Whenever it comes down, it pushes up again. So that is the bulls trend line. So you are likely to focus on buying when price come to the buyer's line and sell the seller's line. That's how you trade a channel. So there is two sideways trading going on here. You have the buyers and the sellers, right? So the buyers are actually the one making more money here. So if you are a buyer trading this channel, if you are a buyer or a holder, you are likely to be making more profit than anybody shorting the market. So if you look closely, you can see price never went really far anytime it gets shorted by these sellers. So it is the bulls who are always taking home the bigger bags. But today we're going to decipher, is this bull still strong enough to keep pushing up, or are they getting weaker? I'm about to tell you what I am seeing. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe to encourage me. So let's dive deeper into this. So to start this analysis, I am going to start it with the weekly chart, and I'm going to round it off with the monthly chart. Why I say the weekly chart is the weekly chart is the most interesting one of all this chart, and I know the higher time frame has more precedence over the lower time frame. That is why I'm starting our journey from the higher time frame. And the first thing I'm going to draw your attention to is this two-bar rejection. Oh my goodness, this two-bar rejection is a betrayal to the bulls, right? Because just since we've been experiencing pullback, there was no strong sign of rejection, right? But until this two bar rejection showed up. Terrible, terrible, terrible. But the bulls actually pushed up above it, right? So this is where it is. So we see that there is a resistance from the 58k zone all the way up to 62k zone. Let me explain what I mean by this. So you see these bulls making it up to this resistance line here, right here. That is the 60k resistance. They made it above it, then gets pushed back. They couldn't close above it. They couldn't close the weekly chart above the 60k resistance. Oh my goodness, that's bad. But they succeeded in closing it above the 58k resistance, right? But remember, 58k to 62k are all resistance area. So what we are seeing here is that now, this new week that we are in, 4 days to the end of it is rejecting that breakout, right? It's rejecting that move. We don't want to see bulls being pulled back all the way down to the same support. That would be a terrible experience, but it's likely to play out. Anything can play out in this market, and you have to stay open-minded because this is a game of probability. We have to consider every chances that could likely affect our trade. So what we want the bulls to do here is that we want the bulls to hold the current market structure they have been holding, which is the higher lows and higher highs. I have highlighted them out here clearly. I've highlighted them out here because if they fail to hold it and print lower high, then it's going to be a disaster because this lower high will now start looking something like a head and shoulder. This will now be our left shoulder. This will be the head. This is our 4 hours chart, and this will be the right shoulder. Terrible, terrible pattern for the bulls. The bulls honestly do not want to see this coming their way, so they have chances of changing this fate and keeping up to what they have started. Now if you look closely, I have also highlighted this blue midline. Now this our middle line, you can see how it has acted as strong resistance in the past, right? But as well as strong support in the past, right? So you see price bouncing off of this point whenever it comes on it, and now we're seeing this same price is back to that area, right? And the first time it touched it, it bounced, and there's a coincidence because my 20 exponential moving average, my 55 exponential moving average on the on the on the on the 4 hours chart right now. Let me first go to the weekly chart and turn on that sorry, daily chart and turn on that 20 exponential moving average. I want to show you something. So you see that price is sitting on the 20 exponential moving average beautifully well on the daily chart, which means a bounce is likely. Yeah, it's likely, but there is a but. There's a but. What is the but? The fact that this 20 exponential moving average was completely destroyed here is not a good sign. It's absolutely not a good sign for me. Why? Because this is a sign that the 20 exponential moving average is actually getting weaker, and the bulls could get pushed down to 55 exponential moving average next. That is what I'm seeing. So if they fail to hold up to this current midline, we could see something like this happening, right? Down, push to this point. If they are not lucky, it could be this point. So what are the supports that I see playing out if the bulls fail to hold up to the current 54 to 56 support? Now this is the 54 to 56k support, right? That is where on the 4 hours chart, that is where we see the 55 and the 55 exponential moving average between the 54 to 56k support. We want the bulls to hold this midline. If they fail, they could land themselves, or they could find themselves falling miserable down to this area of consolidation, where we could have the 52k to 48k support coming into play to save the day. That is around the zone, right? We could see the 52k to 48k support coming to save the day. Now, if they fail, it's going to be a terrible thing to see these bulls all work getting pushed down to where they started from. Because we could see a bounce that will go like this, right? Anything that makes these bulls form inverse head and shoulder is going to be a terrible experience. Here's what I see. So let's say they actually succeed, the bears actually succeed in pushing the bulls down, down here. We could see something like this again happening. And oh my goodness, terrible, terrible, terrible. That is going to lead to my fear of the monthly chart playing out. Now I see a terrible thing happening on the monthly chart because this is showing a clear left shoulder head on the daily chart and right shoulder. And if the bulls fail to hold the 40k to 38k support, it's going to be a disaster down. Oh, terrible, terrible, terrible disaster. Let me tell you why I see this coming. I see it coming. I see it coming. That is why I've started taking profit from 61k. I see it coming. Why do I see this coming? Okay, let me go to the monthly chart and let me show you something interesting. I'm going to turn off all the drawing, all the noise, so that you're going to see what I'm saying. We see a parabolic move. Oh, I said I was going to turn it off. So sorry for that. So yeah, I'm turning it off. We see that since September last year, it's been a straight 6 months of a pump with not a single red candle showing up. Now, that's very scary. If you ask me, that's quite very scary. Makaveli trader, that's scary. Yeah, it is scary because when these bears start to hit, it's going to be a disaster. We could see one candle actually pushing all the way to 30k, all the way to 40k. Then that 40k is going to be, if next month, which is April, the rejection start and reject this last month, because this is actually, there's been a lapping that have started from the month of February. We've been seeing this lapping because beginning of the pump, we can see these fully body grown bars, green bars, full body grown bullish green bars. But from January, February, we start seeing this inverted this shooting star kind of shit trying to form, right? Like half, almost, the bulls push up and the bears push down and almost consuming all their homework. Same thing the next month, February. And we're already seeing the same scenario trying to play out in this current month. You can see all the work to 60k is being pushed down. If these bulls are not careful, next month, April, is going to be a total rejection of their work. We're going to see April pushing down to 40k. And if they are not lucky, this will be the beginning of the down move to retest the breakout, because there's actually a breakout, right? So if I take my trend line to connect this breakout that took place on the monthly chart, we see a monthly breakout, right? So we see a breakout here, right? This is where the breakout happened, right? So when this breakout happened, we have yet to see. Yeah, there was a retest before the major move started. That's where we got this small red candle happen, but we've not seen any pullback or any strong retest, because I still see a retest bringing us back to this 16k zone, right? That is, once a channel is broken, there is always a retest of the beginning of the channel. And if you look at our weekly chart, our monthly chart, the beginning of our channel is 16k to 12k. I don't want my subscribers experiencing that huge dump that is coming. So I will want you to start getting prepared ahead of time. If it's good, if it's good for you, I recommend stop loss. Now, some people are very skeptical about stop loss because they still don't understand how it works or how to implement it, especially for sports traders. Sports traders, most of them don't use stop loss, of which you can set manually. It's only the futures traders, the leverage trader, and the perpetual traders, whichever you choose to call it, are the ones who has the opportunity to have stop loss done for them, and all they need is a click of button to set it up without any manual setup, needing any manual setup, especially if you're using platforms like Binance. Now back to the chart. I don't want you experiencing this down move that is coming. So getting prepared for it. You don't want, you see, one thing that kills fast in this game is greediness. Greediness kills faster in this game. Taking some profit is a good idea. I'm not asking you to sell all your Bitcoin. I'm not, because me personally, I'm not selling all my Bitcoin yet. I'm still holding some part, but I have beginning to take some profit out. I'm beginning to take some profit out of this shit because I see some catastrophe coming. And trust me, I will be one of those who is going to short this market. I am waiting clearly for a clear bear market structure. Once I start seeing lower highs and lower lows, so bears are likely going to make another move or another attempt to this 60k resistance. Once I see a rejection, man, I'm going in for a short. I'm going to start shorting. I have not started shorting because I am not the early bird. I'm not part of the early bird, and I know that the early birds always never survive. They end up becoming the sacrificial lamb because anything can still happen. As long as these bulls are staying above this blue line, it is still chances of a bounce is high until they push them below this blue line. And I tell you, there's still support between 48k, so they can still bounce. So there is countless support upon support, laying and waiting for these bulls. So be careful about shorting just yet. Patience will be a motherfucking friend of yours. Thank you so much for watching. And now I am going to say, please do me a favor, encourage this channel, help us grow and help others to see this video by liking and supporting us. Support me, Gorilla Trader, always at your service. Thank you for watching, and do remain blessed. Happy trading.